Live from the Vodafone Gigabit Broadband Studio in Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1.
Good afternoon, I'm Liz Reddy. Today's top stories. Businesses in Waterford say they can't afford an increase in rates as it's revealed that €614 million of retail spend is leaving Waterford annually. A new report shows that Waterford City is the second most deprived area of the country. An elderly woman who suffered a serious arm injury after falling at a caravan park in County Waterford has lost her appeal over the dismissal of her damages claim. And in sport, Waterford's Jack O'Donoghue is to captain Munster for tomorrow night's Pro 14 clash against Edinburgh in Cork. Sinn Féin, who are part of the controlling group on Waterford City and County Council, say they will not vote for a commercial rate increase when they meet to agree a budget tomorrow. CEO Michael Walsh is to propose a 5% rate increase to try to plug a €1.3 million deficit due to the revaluation of Irish water rates. Sinn Féin councillor Conor McGuinness says they also won't vote for any cuts to funding for festivals, roads maintenance, disability access works and climate action projects. Brian Tynan from Whelan's Pharmacy on Michael Street says businesses are struggling in the city centre.
A lot of retailers have actually closed. Like I would see now on Michael Street, for example, we're nearly at the levels of peak recession time with the number of closed units on the street. So we would have been at full capacity, say, about 12 months ago, and we're now down to about 7 units that are actually closed at the moment as well. So it is tough going at the moment as well. So obviously there would be serious concerns in terms of kind of the next issue with possible rates increases again.
He appealed to the council to look at the bigger picture.
If you're generating income from businesses and then suddenly you're actually pushing them over the edge where they're actually going out of business, you're not going to get any income at all from those businesses. So they need to look at the bigger picture here and actually get a proper feel for what's actually happening on the ground. And currently I don't think that they actually really do realise what's actually happening on the ground with regard to retail in Waterford City Centre at the moment.
Approximately €614 million every year is leaving Waterford City and County as people spend their money elsewhere. CEO of Waterford Chamber of Commerce, Gerald Hurley, is hoping on Black Friday that people make a decision to spend as much as they can in Waterford.
It's estimated that retail leakage from the county is currently in the region of €614 million per annum. I mean, that's colossal. And there are ways in which we can encourage more spend in the city. The Waterford gift voucher, for example, can be given as a tax-free bonus or a gift, and it ensures that money is spent locally, which benefits the economy, which in turn prevents shops from closing.
75% of Irish consumers say they are going to buy something for themselves during the Black Friday sales, but there's a warning that the bargains might not be as good as they sound. Consumer group Which claim just 1 in 20 so-called Black Friday deals are cheaper than at other times of the year. These people in Waterford were asked if they're going to purchase something tomorrow.
Oh, probably. Look around the shops anyway and see what's there. Like some electrical stuff, I need new stuff for the house.
Amazon really, just be looking at a few deals on for computers and monitors. I'll be big into my gaming, so yeah, a few gaming PCs and so on, because they usually drop down by £200-300 or more.
Nowadays there seems to be a sale on every day really, isn't there? Whether it's a weekend sale or a bank holiday sale or whatever, so I can't imagine there are going to be too much better offers than the rest of the year.
The bargains aren't even real. People surely know this, they surely know that prices are hiked up and cut down to what they were 3 weeks ago. And people just go crazy.
A new report shows that Waterford City is the second most deprived area of the country. County Waterford scored as one of the least deprived. The National Deprivation Index for Ireland says that people living in more deprived areas are at risk of dying younger. Dr. Kenner Tellier, who's the lead author of the report, explains why life expectancy varies greatly in these areas.
Deprivation is associated with poorer health outcomes, both in terms of mortality and morbidity. So people generally are sicker, and there's a whole host of reasons for that. People in more deprived areas have poorer access to services and amenities, and there are also lifestyle factors like higher rates of smoking, and these all contribute to poorer health.
The European Parliament has voted to declare a climate emergency. The resolution was passed with 429 votes in favour of 225 against. It's designed to put pressure on the incoming European Commission to tackle climate issues. Waterford Green MEP Grace O'Sullivan says it's vital that any climate declarations are followed by action.
If we do not consider this an emergency, if we do not raise the red flag, if we do not take real action, nothing's going to happen. And at the moment, it's business as usual.
The Taoiseach says a report into finance and governance issues at the FAI should be published as soon as possible. A final independent audit has been referred to Gardaí to determine if a crime has been committed. The chair of the Oireachtas Sports Committee says if possible, a redacted version of the report should be published. However, Sports Minister Shane Ross says it can't be published over fears it could be prejudicial to any future court proceedings. Taoiseach Leo Varadkar agrees but says fans deserve to see the report.
I think they should get to see it as soon as possible. Huge numbers of people in Ireland are football fans and contribute a lot to the FAI in different ways, either financially or as volunteers. So I think the public should see it as soon as possible. But, because this has been referred to the Gardaí, we wouldn't want to put anything out in the public domain that might actually undermine the possibility of future accountability or even future prosecutions.
The government's reaffirmed its commitment to European space programmes. It plans investments worth €100 million up to 2024. Waterford Minister of State John Halligan's outlined Ireland's plans at an international meeting in Seville in Spain. The key purpose of the meeting is to determine future ESA policies and strategies. An elderly woman who suffered a serious arm injury after falling at a caravan park in County Waterford has lost her appeal over the dismissal of her damages claim. Philomena White, with an address on Waterford's Cork Road, who's now in her early 80s, had sued William Doherty and S&K Carey Limited as occupiers of Woodstown Caravan Park over her fall in May 2010. She appealed a High Court finding that she'd not established negligence. This has been dismissed by a 3-judge court. It also awarded costs of the appeal against Mrs White, but left in place the order that each side pay their own costs of the High Court hearing. The court heard Mrs White and her husband have had a mobile home in the park for 46 years. Her accident occurred as she walked from her mobile home to the toilet and shower block. Her toe stuck in something and she lost her balance and fell. Her claim in negligence revolved around the state of the ground near the block. Ms Justice Donnelly said it could not be said as a matter of law that the trial judge erred in concluding the respondents had not breached the common duty of care. The chairperson of Visit Waterford says 2019 was a good year for tourism in the city and county. That's despite global economic unease and the uncertainty surrounding Brexit. David McCoy is also the Sales and Marketing Director for the House of Waterford Crystal.
Well, in Waterford, the overall figures are looking flat for the year. So in terms of a destination, I would say it was a good year because overall in Ireland, the numbers have been mixed. So it really depends on what nationalities have been core to different sectors. But I think we're coming on the back of, huge growth in numbers over the last 4 to 5 years. So I think Waterford is still performing very well. It'll be 3% of the national market for international visitors. And with the investments we're making and the strategy we have, it's our job to grow market share as well as to work with Tourism Ireland to grow the international volume itself.
WLR Sport.
And a very good afternoon, I'm Gavin Whelan. Starting with rugby, and Johan van Graan has named his Munster side to take on Edinburgh at Irish Independent Park in the Guinness Pro 14 tomorrow night. There are 14 changes to the side that took on Racing 92 in the Heineken Champions Cup last weekend. Jack O'Donoghue, the Waterford man, is going to captain the Red Army tomorrow evening. Ben Healy is set to make his Pro 14 debut at out half, while Stephen Archer will make his 200th Munster appearance. Soccer next, and attention turns to the Europa League action today. Manchester United are away to Kazakhstan side Astana later on. They have already secured their place in the knockout stages of the competition, so manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is expected to experiment with his selection. Youngsters Ethan Liard, Deshaun Bernard and Dylan Levitt are all set to get their debuts, as well as goalkeeper Lee Grant. The United boss says it's a great opportunity for the players.
It's hard, with the young kids to give them enough games against men, professional games. We got the EFL trophy, and for me this is a great chance to see them all together.
Kick-off is at 10 to 4 Irish time. Granit Xhaka may make his first appearance since being stripped of the captaincy when Arsenal face Eintracht Frankfurt at the Emirates Stadium. A win or a draw will be enough for the Gunners to reach the last 32. That kicks off at 8 o'clock tonight. Celtic already into the knockout stage. They play Rennes at Parkhead also at 8. If Rangers beat Feyenoord in Holland, the Young Boys win or draw against Porto, then Stephen Gerrard's side will go through, and Wolves can book their spot in the next phase if they take a point away to Braga, that one in Portugal. Snooker at just 18 years of age, Ross Pullman is preparing for the biggest match of his career so far. The Cork native takes on 7-time champion Ronnie O'Sullivan in the first round of the UK Championship in York this evening. Under legend Jimmy White faces Antrim's Mark Allen this evening. Fergal O'Brien plays Michael White this afternoon. Next to news of Gaelic Games, Fairfield set to stage the AIB Munster Club Senior Football Championship final on Sunday afternoon. It's Tipperary against Cork in the decider as Clonmel Commercials and Nemo Rangers go head to head. Seamus Kennedy will be lining out with Commercials. He won an All-Ireland hurling medal with Tipperary earlier this season. Who says Clonmel have been competitive in the Munster Championship over the last number of seasons?
No, thankfully we were here in 2015. Getting ready for a Munster final, so it's taken a couple of years to get back here, but we're absolutely delighted, and there's a great buzz around Clonmel at the minute and everyone's looking forward to it.
That one throws in at 2 o'clock on Sunday. The Tramore Golf Club have just opened a virtual golf indoor arena at their club in Newtown. It's an exciting adventure for the club, as their professional Stephen O'Rourke outlines.
It's the only one locally, it's the only one in the area, state of the art. It's going to allow us to do indoor lessons, indoor fitting. Most excitingly, virtual golf. We're also going to be able to allow people to have individual practice time there as well. So I think it's going to be more than just having a winter option. I think it's going to hopefully be a year-round thing, but certainly at the moment, I mean, what a great facility it would be to have at the minute.
You can hear more from Stephen on our On The Ball show on Saturday at 12 noon here in WLR. Golf, Jonathan Caldwell shot 2 over par first round 74 at the Alfred Dunhill Championship in South Africa today. That leaves him 8 shots off the lead in a tie for 95th. Cormac Sharman is the only other Irish involvement this week in Leopard Creek. He's 8 over after today. And finally, for now to news of racing, where the action is underway up there in Thurles, a 7-race jumpstart taking place this afternoon. And the opening race, Cusp of Carabelli, owned by the Fasty for Fun syndicate from Waterford City, captured the second race there, the 1250 contest at the tip track, scoring at odds of 4-1. That's the latest on WLR. Our next bulletin.